It's called Advanced Answering Techniques. So it is 3 professional people explaining to other people how to answer different questions, a multiple variety of questions. Advanced Answering Techniques.
Welcome to Advanced Answering Techniques. I'm one of your hosts, Josh, beating my head against the wall of the idea of being even one host among many, like a brain surgeon with a dull drill bit trying to get into my own skull. Brain surgeon who is doing brain surgery on himself or herself. Women can be mentally deranged as well. I'm joined by a fellow host who is kind of the butler of the podcast. If you've ever had a valet, you'll know that when you're going on a trip, you've got your steamer trunk in your cabin, and sometimes your gentleman's gentleman needs some direction. You might say to your manservant, unpack that. And that's something we ask from Caleb to do from time to time.
Hi.
Ahoy.
That's Caleb.
Yes.
And where there's a butler nearby, there's usually a witty and effeminate gadabout like Noel Coward or Oscar Wilde, or one of the ones from TikTok. Someone with a bon mot or a jibe for every occasion, but who you don't really want using a table saw. We wouldn't ask Gabe to rip this sheet of OSB.
Right. Hi.
That's Gabe.
Hi. I did some sawing this weekend.
Did you?
Yeah, I did with
Okay.
a hand saw.
Yeah.
Because I don't trust myself with tools enough to own electric saws and power tools and things. So
Yeah.
just,
You think
So it does happen from
it
time to
happens?
time.
It happens. Even the most effeminate among us can, turn a 2x4 into a shorter 2x4.
Yes. I'm glad you knew that.
Thank you.
You've already heard the idea of the podcast at the beginning. From Joy, we receive questions from our users, and we give them definitive ironclad answers. Like Italians, the attitude of the answers is breezy with a sense of sprezzatura. Unlike Italians, the answers will not yell at you if you hesitate while you're ordering a cheesesteak. Just like Scripture demands, the answers are gentle, turning away wrath. Anything we need to deal with, address, guys, at the beginning of the podcast?
I don't want to dress.
Here? No, you don't.
I may be effeminate, but
yeah.
I don't want to dress. I
Yeah.
thought you were offering us a
No. You
A
guys
dress,
want to
guys?
dress?
I thought you were saying, do we want to deal with a dress?
Oh, okay. I think you want to deal with a dress.
I don't.
guys?
That's actually why I don't wear them.
Yeah.
I kind of like them. They look cool, but
Right.
they just seem like too much asshole.
to deal with.
Yeah.
Does seem like it would be.
Sometimes I cannot
Kinda
figure out what's the front, what's the back. You know,
Right.
Yeah.
You know, for
There's whole like lists of things that you can't do.
well, especially
Yeah,
with a
wearing a dress.
swimsuit. Like my
Yeah.
girls, when I would help them
Yeah.
get in their swimsuits when they were little.
Yeah.
I'd be like trying to put this swimsuit on my daughter, and I'd be like, she'd go out, and my wife's like, "That's on backwards."
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Whatever you say.
Why am I doing this?
A whole dress swimsuit.
Yeah, kind of like those real
Yeah.
modest swimsuits from the 1920s.
Yeah.
Swim
A
costume.
swimming costume.
costume?
What do we have to deal with? I tried to get turkey hunting.
You wanted to get a turkey.
Yeah, I wanted to shoot one in the head.
Yeah. Is that where you want to hit them in
You
the
want to
head?
shoot them right in the head.
Okay.
So you don't ruin the meat.
You want
I mean, that
meat.
makes sense. That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
But there's
It'll-
a lot of things about
Shoot them
that
in the
that-
head, kill them dead.
Yeah.
Is that
fat.
kind of
Yeah.
turkey talk?
Yeah, that's what we say
You
to
guys are
each other.
talking turkey. You'll say
Okay.
things like that.
Be quiet. Now, there's a turkey over there. Remember, shoot him in the head.
Just-
get him dead.
Just the
Does
best piece of advice I've ever gotten for turkey hunting.
Yeah, nothing worked. I spent money on a decoy. I got camo burlap for a blind to make a kind of blind for me and the guys, and no luck. Turkeys are not coming to us. Not sure if we're impatient. It's really hard to figure out all the factors
Okay.
that go into this. You know, that's what I'm learning as a novice hunter.
Right.
You have to hunt for the appropriate setup and the correct gear.
You're not just
and-
hunting
yeah.
the animal.
There's all
You're
these other-
hunting the attitude. You're hunting
Yeah.
the
Okay.
the setup, the
Yeah.
gear,
The body odor.
yeah.
Mhm.
Want to keep that to a minimum, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, turkeys can't smell that well, so it's not a huge.
It's not a
deal
huge issue
that.
for turkeys.
But if I was going after some kind of turkey deer hybrid,
right.
Okay.
yeah,
I mean, really a terrifying animal.
not
It has
great.
visual acuity and a sense of smell.
Yeah, and it's got feathers.
Is it the size of a turkey or the size of a deer?
It is the size of a deer.
Oh, okay,
big.
yeah. So that is a little.
It's actually
that's a little
it's actually a
worrying.
weird thing that happens with this hybrid, where it's the size of both.
It's actually so it's like a cumulative kind of effect. It's more like a
No, it's like a quantum thing.
Oh, I see. Oh, it's not cumulative
It's like it's the size of both. At the
I don't
same
at the same
understand.
time. I see.
Yeah.
I see. So it's like what is that called? Like there's like in some way superimposed over each other.
Okay.
Yes.
And so this weighs, I don't know, what does a deer weigh? Probably 150 pounds.
Yeah,
That's
something
120.
like
That's
something
maybe a
like
very
that.
big deer is 150
No, that's
pounds.
pretty. I think that's
Okay.
pretty right.
And then a turkey is maybe what? Like
60
60
pounds.
pounds? Yeah, I was about to-
60 pounds?
I was about to say 80 and it sounded insane.
I'm not a great person to ask about that. I think because I've not shot one and held the weight of a turkey in my
Right.
hand.
Yeah.
The
30
so
pounds, was
I
that
think
sound?
like
That's
like
probably on the
15 or
upper end.
20.
Yeah.
I think something like that.
Yeah. A butterball turkey at the grocery store, you're probably looking at 20 pounds.
And that one's fed up.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
And it's
not
also,
wild.
but they have trimmed off certain details of the turkey.
That's
when
true.
You buy.
That's
you know,
true.
small details like a head and feet and wings.
Yeah.
Yep.
The snood.
The snood,
That's the name.
Yeah,
That's the weird piece of flesh that hangs over.
the gobble.
the-
Can you imagine
That's not.
the
I
gobbler?
thought that's where the gobble came
It's the
from.
gobble.
It's not.
You're
It's
telling me
not.
the snood has no gobbling potential
It has no
whatsoever.
potential. A turkey can gobble with a snood or not.
Or not.
Because a jake, which is a young male turkey,
Mm-hmm.
they can gobble.
also
and they
a
have no
Gyllenhaal.
snood. True. A jake is a
People,
Gyllenhaal.
people,
Just making sure we cover all
people
our bases.
annoyingly don't bring that up enough.
All these turkey hunters talking
Oh,
about
yeah.
Jakes, but not Gyllenhaal.
Yep. No, it's true.
So-
Anyway, so unsuccessful.
Yeah.
I'll report back next week.
Man,
Hopefully,
imagine
success.
imagine how long we'll talk about it if you actually get a turkey.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Nothing happened.
Yeah, we got
Yep.
5 minutes out of that.
Nothing happened. I brought some oatmeal cream pies
OCP.
with me
Yeah.
because I thought maybe we wouldn't get anything, and this
Yeah.
way we had something to eat.
Right. You were like,
it is an option when you're ordering a sandwich. Would you like turkey on this or oatmeal cream pies? They kind of
Yeah.
do swap in and out for each other.
easily
didn't-
substitutable.
We didn't get any turkey this morning, but there's oatmeal cream pie. Do you want a smoked oatmeal cream pie?
Yeah. Some some sun-dried tomato oatmeal cream pie.
Yeah. Oh
Delicious.
boy, it's good.
We do have some new business. Caleb has an idea for a segment we wanted to solicit.
Oh yeah.
Kind of pitch the idea
Yeah.
and solicit submissions for.
Yes. So the idea is maybe try to think of questions regarding stuff at church that you think is maybe too petty or too small to bring up to your
And
pastor or
not just at
priest.
church, right? Or is it specifically at church? That's the
I was
idea, is
thinking
that
at
it's
church, but we can
a
we
good
can
starting
make
place.
let's we can
Something-
anything regarding church life.
something
or-
you might want to bring to your pastor.
Yes, there
that
you go.
feel like is maybe beneath.
It doesn't have to be at church,
Right.
but I was thinking of
No, I like that.
specific things.
I like that. I think let's push people into that area. But it's really anything you could.
I
might
have
think
an
of.
example
I'm over
one.
here. I hear what you're saying. I'm having a hard time grasping the
Grasping this.
concept.
Okay.
Do you think there's an example?
I have an example.
Oh, Caleb has an
This would
example.
be an
Oh, this
example.
is actually working out.
Worked
really
out
well.
great. Glad I made my
Yes.
concerns known.
My example would be okay. So tradition is for Pentecost Sunday to wear a red shirt of some kind to symbolize the fire of the Holy Spirit, right? You think it's in poor taste to wear a Guy Fieri shirt to church on Pentecost Sunday?
Right. Right. It's your red. That's the red shirt that you have.
It's red shirt you have. It's got flames on it.
Yeah.
Or like a Star Trek uniform.
It's maybe the Guy Fieri shirt. It's got flames on it. It's really like kind of into the it's one wheel in the ditch.
Yeah.
It's you're being pulled right along with the theme. And I like the idea too of
a Star Trek uniform. To me, Gabe, if you're asking me,
okay,
it seems like now it's a costume that you're wearing to church.
Yeah,
and that that's not okay.
But is it better? I mean, I guess ultimately the question is it better to arrive at church on Pentecost Sunday wearing red,
right?
Even if it's maybe not the most appropriate article of clothing, for a church setting,
right?
And obviously, there are churches that have different standards for what's appropriate.
That's true.
So,
but that if you're going on that line where you're like, it's better at all costs to wear something red instead of wear normal clothes.
Yeah.
Right.
Then it's like a red Speedo would be appropriate to wear to church.
And this is what we'd have to get into, right?
Yeah.
Right.
You go into church with your children in a red Speedo.
Well, and I mean, a Speedo is not a shirt.
Listen up. Sit down. Be quiet. Yeah. This is church.
Yeah. Be reverent.
You're sitting in the pew.
Yeah.
That's
good. I think it would be okay to wear a Star Trek red shirt uniform if you wear a nice slack over top of over top.
Like it's tucked in.
Yeah.
Oh, it's tucked in.
It's tucked in. Well, you're wearing the whole, those things come as like,
it's a
aren't
singlet.
they like a unit?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I guess the original Star Trek, they're not a unitard. I was thinking Next Generation.
Not enough of a Trek head.
That's what I was thinking of too.
Yeah.
Because it's like the future. In the future, there will just be, we've gotten so good at eating that we're not worried about, like, that's the problem with a singlet.
Right.
If you get the pants dirty, now the shirt's dirty too.
Right.
Like that's the issue. That's why we don't really do that.
It's such a
besides
problem.
looking dumb.
Yeah.
It looks bad.
Yeah.
But
I know those of us who've been eating meals for the last, in my case, 40-some years, and are still really struggling
totally
to not get both my pants. I mean, often it's the singlet thing doesn't really
matter
because it's both anyway.
Both. It hits your shirt and then goes on
to my pants.
Totally. Yeah, but I guess if you're getting most of your sustenance through pills and there's not much spillage, that's when you start wearing singlets. And that's when and that's why you can wear that and put slacks over it.
Yeah.
At church. Then you get some communion wine on your pants.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Just take those bad boys off. And
easy enough.
Yeah.
Easy enough. You could just go shirtless.
Yes. Yeah, that's right. If you get some on your pants, just take your pants off. Take the whole singlet off. Put the slacks back
on.
Just kind of do a George look.
Do a George look. That sounds like what I do when I'm reading those books about a monkey.
Yeah.
Curious.
I'm doing George looks.
One.
I'm looking at George.
Yep.
I'm going to have a look.
Yep.
Hey, if George is there on the page, I'm going to have a look.
Looks like I'm doing a George look.
Dude, I mean, that's awesome.
Thank you.
So you can send do we have like a subject line that we would like people, like an acronym or something we'd like people to put in?
Church Matters.
Church Matters. That's great.
Okay.
Yep. No, I don't think
or
we need
Caleb as the originator.
Not for my pastor. Not for not.
Yeah.
Like it's like
not for my pastor's eyes only.
Not for my pastor's
for
eyes
not
only.
my pastor's eyes only.
Yeah.
For not my pastor's eyes only.
For not my pastor's eyes
I
only.
think we can get somewhere better here. I think
forgive them, Father, for they have sinned.
Yeah.
Like non-confessional booth confessions.
Yeah. Open confessions.
Yeah. I feel like I feel like we might get stuff we don't want.
Yeah, that's
this
right.
isn't
We don't
stuff
want
that you don't want to talk to your
but that's
pastor
what
about. This is stuff that you feel is beneath your pastor.
You don't want to waste his time with it, but you want to get an answer on it.
Right. Yeah.
And so you can bring it to us.
Yeah.
And then we can decide. Because look, I don't know. Some of these
Yeah.
might come in and we go, hey, you know what? You need to talk to your pastor about that.
Take that to your pastor.
But then there's some we'll be like, we'll handle this. We'll just handle this.
Yeah. This is kind of our area.
Mm-hmm.
Not safe for pastors.
Not safe.
Not instead of NSFW, which is not safe for work. This would be NSFP.
Well, it's
It's
Again,
more of like
I
it's
think-
suitable.
I think we might be getting.
You think that's
asking for
bad?
things. Yeah,
It's
we might ask
beneath.
for things.
It's
Okay.
beneath the pastors.
Yeah.
So it's like
Not bad enough
Pew-
for pastors.
pew problems.
Yeah.
Pew,
Yes.
Pew problems.
Pew. I don't know. There's something with pew because it's kind of like
Puny,
keeping
like
it.
puny.
Puny problems.
Puny problems.
So it's small.
Pew.
It usually includes, or it kind of infers that there's something in that horizontal
Yes.
element of
Puny.
your fellow congregants.
Pew
K-N-E.
knee problems. As in,
Okay.
look, there's not enough room in this pew for me to kneel.
Exactly, a common
Yeah.
issue.
And you're like, are you gonna bring that up
So
to
I'm
your
not going to
pastor?
confess it to my pastor.
yeah, he's a busy guy.
Yeah. Pew
So-
knee problems.
Yeah.
Any of
Good.
those variants.
No, that's the one.
Okay, pew knee problems.
I like that because we all kind of worked on that.
PKP.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go. I love that.
Yeah.
And I can't wait for our first submission.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
And those can
Like,
be pictures too.
I guess I'm like a rookie UFC fighter in that way.
What's that?
Can't wait for the first submission.
Yeah.
Really looking forward to it.
Yep.
Yep.
Just any of them.
Yeah,
or his
against
first
you.
submission?
Just the first.
Your
one,
first. He's so this guy's just excited for
I
any
think-
kind of
I-
submission in his fight.
I think it's pretty clear that he's excited to force his opponent to submit.
Okay.
Caleb,
But then in that case, it would be you submitting, and so then we're just what are we doing? We're just waiting for you to submit something, Gabe.
no, wait, what? No, because I feel like in that case he's receiving the submission.
Oh, okay.
The rookie UFC fighter.
Yeah.
That I feel like
He gets a submission.
Oh, he gets one.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He gets one. That's the
Yeah.
right verbiage. Oh, so good to have that figured out.
and the referee is like the email client.
Yeah. He gives. You
You're
got
like,
it.
yeah, I'll allow that.
Let's check for spam.
Yeah.
These are valid
Oh my
attachments.
gosh! I didn't even know I got that submission. It was right in my spam
Yeah.
folder. Didn't check.
The referee is the spam folder of the Octagon. Thank you, Filter. Thank you.
Oh.
Okay, it's riding high.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
But,
Too close to the
I promise
sun.
to do better.
Is there anything we need to do as far as having some sound effects?
I mean, I know
We should do some.
how that would happen.
Yeah.
Mainly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's.
I just
do
didn't
some.
want to. I just didn't want to have another episode where we
We didn't do any
didn't
sound
do any
effects.
sound effects.
All right. Silly gong.
There was a silly gong, and that means that it's time to hear Simeon.
Ah.
We have a question today, and it comes from Simeon. I like Simeon, and I
like Simeon.
I like
too.
Simeon.
I'm not gonna say.
The jury's out for Caleb. Let's see if Simeon can win him over.
Can you tip the scales here?
And I think that some of my personal conflicts with Simeon have actually been really good for me.
Oh, good.
Oh, good.
Like I got a lamb vindaloo at a local restaurant.
Delicious.
And I was pretty sure that no one saw me eating it. But then I was leaving and I saw Simeon in one of the booths, and 10 minutes later, I got a call from my pastor, and he wanted to set up a meeting to kind of talk about some stuff.
Okay.
So, I think Simeon told my pastor about the way I was eating the lamb vindaloo, and so he kind of narked on me.
Oh no.
Yeah. So that was a bummer initially, and it kind of I felt like it kind of put me on the wrong foot with Simeon a little bit, but
Yeah.
it got me talking to my pastor. We had our meeting, we got talking, and it turns out we like some of the same commercials.
That's
So that was
that's
actually-
good. It ends up being
cool.
good.
It was really good, and I appreciate that. It's kind of iron sharpening iron.
Yeah.
I know
refiner's fire.
We want to
of
get
our
to
friends.
Simeon's question here, but there's something I just am so curious about. Like, how could you have possibly been eating this food that it was like something
Well,
a fellow
yeah.
parishioner
Yeah.
thought should be brought
I
up?
go into-
okay, so that's a sin issue. Like,
I don't know. For me, the experience of eating certain foods, like vindaloo being among them, is kind of I something that happens in a kind of a fugue state for me.
Okay.
So I couldn't say.
Okay.
But when my pastor was talking to me about it, he was kind of saying things like, we want to make sure that we're representing the body.
right.
So
it's a
not to bring-
reputational.
it's a reputational thing. We
right.
don't want to bring.
And that's on
Yes.
Simeon
Disgrace.
to
Yes.
protect your reputation as his own.
Yes.
Honestly, though, I've got a big problem with this already. This pastor's going straight to you.
Yeah.
If Simeon has a problem with what you're doing, the pastor should really be telling him to talk
talk
to
to
you. Yeah.
Yeah. It could be that because I agree.
Yeah. Yeah.
Based on I'm going to forget the passage, but Matthew,
Yes.
Matthew 18, I think maybe it is.
Yeah.
That it's true, but Simeon might have tried.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
You know,
he did.
yeah,
Did
yeah.
he?
In this fugue state, you're not receptive to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure.
Oh,
you
I
know.
see. Like
and maybe-
he rebuffed you. And he even brought a friend with him a second time. And
Yes,
you
it all happened
Sorry, you
very
rebuffed him.
quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, well,
There was a friend ready to go.
Once the ball gets
Yeah.
rolling,
Right.
especially if I'm powered by lamb vindaloo.
Oh, right.
Well, and-
because you
and-
get into the fugue state. When does that start for you? When is it like your last memory?
Right.
You go to you remember you
Things
went to the
when do-
restaurant.
when do things get hazy?
When do things start to kind of drop off.
it's right when you order it. It's
I
kind
mean,
of
that's the beginning of it.
starts
Okay.
the whole.
You got that
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, things seem dreamlike.
Yeah.
Right.
On the way to the restaurant.
Okay, it's starting. It's starting.
to get.
You
Yeah.
could feel it coming on a little bit, but you remember it as
Can
real
still
life.
could pick out those details. It seems like is that, but yeah, it just has that like when you're in a car accident or something.
Yeah.
And things start to get.
And that hasn't
dramatic.
happened on the way to the restaurant.
No,
Car accident.
I get in a car. Accident.
Oh, okay. Pretty much every time.
on the way there and on the way back.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, it's that feeling, and sometimes.
Okay. Sometimes it's real.
Sometimes it's real. Sometimes it's
It's an actual accident. Okay. So you get there, you sit down, you order, then this fugue state starts. Simeon comes
Yeah.
over, confronts you about how you're eating this food.
We have to
Goes
assume.
back. We assume that because
Yeah.
you don't remember that.
Right.
And then he gets a friend. They come over.
Yeah.
They say, "Hey, we really think you got to stop eating like this.
Yeah.
We could tell your heart is wrong by how you're eating this lamb vindaloo.
This is a sin
Maybe it's
issue, like
exclamations
it-
you're
so-
making.
Yeah.
Maybe you're enjoying the lamb vindaloo so much you're like praising it like
like
a
bow-
god,
like worshiping, it
worshiping.
Yeah.
in some way.
That would be concerning.
That would be a problem.
That is a moment maybe I would go, hey, don't do that.
Yeah.
You know.
No, you shouldn't. Based on what Simeon's reports, as I don't remember him specifically, but when
Yes.
I talked about it, did sound like there was something like that.
Okay.
Okay.
It was something like that. It was
Okay.
something along the lines of,
That's wild.
yeah.
I kind of want to go have some lunch with you.
Yeah.
I want to see this at work.
Well, it is like anything can kind of like throw me off of it,
Oh.
So it's not a guarantee
Okay.
that it'll happen. But if I'm in the right headspace and I'm on my own, and
Maybe
I'm
we
just
could get you one of
feeling
those
completely unselfconscious.
GoPros. Put a GoPro on you.
Yeah.
Get you used to it. Acclimate you to it
Yeah,
for a little
yeah.
bit. You wear
Yeah.
it for several days.
Yeah.
And
You know what I
It's a
think we should do?
Vindaloo?
Yes.
You know where we should put the GoPro?
Where?
On the fort.
Oh yeah.
So you get the shot of the scoop.
Now how do we get him? How do we get him
We'll get to.
acclimated
We'll get
to that?
to. Oh.
Oh, you tape a fork to my
Take a fork to your head
Yeah.
and then a
like you
GoPro to the fork.
Acclimated to using a utensil to
Just-
eat rather than just his bare hands.
That's also a big assumption
Yeah.
is that he's using a
Yeah,
fork.
right.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
because you had mentioned worshiping the food, and I was thinking maybe Simeon mistook you putting your entire face into the bowl of
Right.
vindaloo as you
Kind of
bowing
weird.
to
Right,
it
right.
in some
Yeah.
sort of idol
Yeah.
worship.
I think that's all really possible.
You're like tipping it back, seeing the future in the bowl of vindaloo.
Yeah, like trying to you
A
kind of
Sears cup.
to the side.
yeah.
Some divination, some
Yeah, doing divination.
divindaloo.
Divination on
Yeah.
like cumin and coriander at the bottom like this.
Yeah, dude. Like,
I'll have that Lisan Al Gaib style.
Mhm.
baby.
Yeah, with plenty of spice. Right?
The spice melange.
We're such
We
big
love
Dune fans.
Oh, dude. Call me a dune buggy.
Dune Part 2 out on streaming now. It is, and I'm genuinely excited about that.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Guys, let's get into it. And let's hear Sim's question.
Hey, my name is Sim. In kindergarten, I didn't know how to tie my shoe and had to ask one of my friends to help me in class. I was talking to them, and the teacher saw me talking and put me in quiet time for what I had done, and it made me really mad. And so I did bad on a bunch of math problems on purpose to show her. I did it all year. It's really bad grades. And I felt guilty about how I punished her. And how would I seek restitution for this?
This is it's interesting that we kind of broached the idea of a pastoral, because this is
Yeah.
kind of in the area of a pastoral question. How
Yeah.
do you do restitution for something like this?
Yes.
A pass, and to clarify, he means he wants to make good on what had happened in the past. He wants to be forgiven for what he's done.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, and I mean, restitution would be obviously you can get forgiveness for something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's different than
Right.
than doing restitution,
Right.
where you're trying to do something to make it up
Yes.
to someone.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's the actual forgiveness you receive from someone, but for some sins, even in Levitical law, there's an actual physical restitution required.
Yeah.
It's like I think it's like a tithe.
Right.
Like you give back the thing that you
Well, if you steal, you have to give them what you took and some more.
and a
I
tithe
forget
of
how
that.
much more.
So I think it's like
It's like
10%.
10%.
It's like 10% of it, something like that.
Yeah.
So now it's 110%.
So he's
110% of correct math
Problems for a whole year
For a whole year.
Oh, yeah.
in kindergarten.
Okay.
Yes. I mean,
Probably take
I
about
have an
15
idea.
minutes.
I have an idea.
I want to hear it. Is there anything else about Simeon's? I do appreciate
yeah.
that Simeon gives us this question seemingly as slowly as he possibly
Yes, well, I was
could.
going to say, when he started out, he said, in kindergarten, I didn't know how to, and he started with the T sound, and I was going to say, what, talk? Because he was just, at that point, just moving
So slow.
So
very
slow.
slowly.
Yep.
But it
There's
turned
something
out
about the way Simeon says kindergarten that it took me a while to process the word as the word kindergarten.
Okay.
I didn't catch that.
Kindergarten.
It must just be me.
Okay.
But I did, both times that I've
Yeah.
heard it now, I did go, what is this? I don't know what that is.
It sounds like a sim issue.
It's a sim issue.
Huge sim issue. Yeah. I mean, that's a lot of foresight. I mean, honestly, for a kid who couldn't tie his shoes,
Yeah.
That's some vindictive behavior.
Sure.
Right.
That's some long term.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, they say Machiavelli couldn't tie his shoes either.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty wild.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I actually, even though it's wrong to do that, I agree. There's something that really made me go, that speaks a lot about who Sim is. And it's a side of Sim I'd never seen.
No.
Yeah.
I've known him in life.
He doesn't seem like a vindictive person who will hold a grudge particularly. I did want to go, Gabe, that I think an interesting thing about Niccolo Machiavelli's work, his treatise, The Prince, is there is kind of a long apology about how like it not being able to tie your shoes is not really indicative of anything. Like there's this whole kind of diatribe.
Wow. Was that because they didn't have laces for shoes back then and he was upset about that, or was he incapable of tying shoes?
It always seemed to me like it was like Niccolo doth protest too much.
Okay.
Like he's like tying your shoes is not a big deal. It doesn't mean anything about how smart you are or capable.
So they had,
it doesn't undermine not being able to tie your shoes, having to get somebody else to do it for you.
Right.
Doesn't mean that you can't be a ruthless, prince who governs properly.
A prince has his mind on so many other things, and there's so many people standing around not doing things that tie my shoes. I had to think of some kind of plot.
Yeah, and even though like I know that the rabbit does go through the thing and then it's followed by.
But I'm more interested in the fox.
Yeah.
Because I'm a fox.
I'm much more of a fox.
He's like,
so
I'm not going to do rabbit stuff.
I'm not doing rabbit work.
Also, it's like if nobody ties, if shoes don't have laces yet, it's like, nobody knows how to tie their shoes.
Yeah, but that's what he's pissed off about. It's like, I wish I could tie these.
Oh, okay. He's
Maybe that's one of those
ahead.
plots.
He's thinking like 80 moves ahead.
What if these shoes had laces?
Right.
They weren't just Velcro.
And what if people thought that your inability to handle the shoes was a real like smudge on your character?
Interesting. This is interesting though.
But yeah, Caleb, you were saying. I kind of cut you off there.
It's what I was saying is, neither here nor there.
Oh, okay. You can't remember if you put it here or there.
Yep.
I've
looked here and there, and it's not there. It's neither here nor there.
Right.
Yep. Well, yeah, just the idea of a solution.
Yes, I do have a solution.
Okay.
Which would be to simply re-enroll in kindergarten and do this
kind of Billy Madison style.
Yeah.
Billy
Madison style.
Yeah.
Re-enroll and be the best student.
Wow.
Yeah.
Be quiet when you need to.
Do you think that there's a chance, so this would be, I don't know, Simeon's probably, he's recently graduated from high school.
Yeah.
This was about 12 years ago. You think there's a chance that this teacher is no longer, because I think he does need to do restitution specifically to
the teacher.
Obviously, not just the system.
That could be true. So you might have to kind of finagle some kind of special kindergarten program with just you and this teacher.
Yeah. Yeah. And that is...
Will you come back for one more student?
Right. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
You're showing up in the little South American village that she's retired to.
Right.
She doesn't do that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
She gave up that life.
Right.
She got away from all that kindergarten teaching, and she's happy in this new home or this new place where she's taking care of orphans, not teaching them.
Not teaching them.
Yeah.
Definitely not giving them math problems.
Yeah.
But she's caring for them in different ways.
Right.
And now you show up and you say, I need you back.
Yeah, we need you back.
We need you to come back for one last.
We're assembling a team. It's one person. A one-person team.
Yeah.
You're on it.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. And she's, smoking, and she's kind of hitting the sauce a little bit.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's her golden
kind of
years.
run down, but like all that time teaching kids is kind of weighing on her.
And maybe she considers this instance with Sim is sort of the beginning of her disillusionment with the
Right.
educational practice, and
I put so
her
much
part in it.
time and work into these kids,
Right.
And now, they can't even do math.
Yeah.
He
And-
used to be able to do math, and now he can't.
yeah,
Like he's actually gone backwards
Right.
since he started in my class.
Yeah. And and kind of towards the end of her career, that happened more and more frequently.
yeah.
Children, she started to kind of catch on that there are these very vindictive children who are
Yeah.
just out of spite.
Yes.
And she starts
not
wondering,
doing their math.
what is it
Yes.
about me that brings this out
Yeah.
of the children, right?
Right.
They don't appear to have that vindictive streak
And it
When they
sounds
get
like
in.
come in.
it
Yeah.
sounds like Sim was being disobedient, in talking.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, he's not even making
A case
any,
that he was
yeah,
okay. Yeah.
he's not making any excuse.
You can be quiet and have your shoes untied, and it's not a big deal.
Right.
Yeah, but this is a child we're talking about. And sometimes you can't. You literally can't be quiet
Move
about
on.
their
Yeah, that's
shoes being
true.
untied.
That's
So.
true. She sort of put a burden on him,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
burden of untied shoes.
Yeah.
It's sort of a stumbling block before him.
Could literally have been
It seems like there's
Maybe-
something maybe that she could do.
right.
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 Something
Maybe
she
there
could
is
do.
some part she should play in this.
We're
as
getting
well.
in here. We're down at the bottom of
Yeah.
the Vindaloo. We're sort of
Yeah.
Mhm.
making some discoveries
Right.
about
Yeah.
the past and
Yeah.
the future and how they
What the future
connect.
could be. Yes.
And we're kind of figuring out that maybe Sim actually doesn't need to make any sort of
maybe she
restitution.
got her just desserts. Let's just explore that idea.
Let's put that on the table.
Yeah.
Certainly.
If you oppress
Yeah,
somebody,
let's take a bite.
let's take a bite. Can we have a sip too? I'd like to wash that bite down with a sip. I missed.
That's the sip hitting the bottom
Oh,
of your
the
stomach.
bite. It's
No, it hit the bite.
Yeah, it hit
the
the
sound of the
The
bite
sip hit
and
the bite. It's
yeah.
a bite and then a sip right
on
on
top of the bite.
Yep.
But maybe. Well, I'm looking here and there, not finding anything about what I was trying to say.
Well, and it does get messy. The
Oh,
problem
man.
with human relationships is that nobody's ever really 100% right.
Yeah.
We have so many we're such strange complexes
Yep.
of motivations that we're not even aware of.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Most of our brain is actually in our gut.
What? Dude. That's crazy. You know what's insane is I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
And it's like it's right
listening.
there.
You've been listening to your brain.
Yeah.
That's
I guess so.
brain misinformation.
Yeah, the brain wants you to think it's doing all the work. Of course, and it's the one that's giving you these thoughts. It
Yep.
kind of
Where do
at
you
least where you feel like you're getting your thoughts from.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe the stomach is saying, "Hey, he should think this,"
Mhm.
and it goes up to the brain. And the
Well,
brain's like, "Hey, that's a pretty good idea. I'll take that."
I was
Just
gonna
take
ask-
a
Let's
little
just
bit of
take
that.
a
A little bit of that.
where
I had this great idea. Your
In-
brain says to yourself.
in what location do you solve kindergarten level math problems?
Yeah.
In
Where
your
is
gut
it?
or your head, your brain?
Right.
Your head or your
head
brain.
Your head brain or your gut
Your head brain or your
Yeah.
gut brain.
Yeah.
Right.
We should just
Yeah. I mean, it's sort of like, the biblical thing of your heart doesn't really mean your actual,
Right.
physiological heart. It's like your core, your soul
Yes.
sort of thing. So maybe
Yes.
we need to have that sort of approach to
for the brain.
the brain.
The
Yeah.
brain.
Where
the
you
brain,
think.
the brain, where's the brain stored?
Yeah.
In your gut.
Yeah.
Some parts of it.
Some parts of it.
Some parts of
it's
it.
distributed.
It's
the
at least
humbler
50-50.
parts.
yeah. Yeah.
The humbler parts.
And where does that take us?
Right. Right. It means that part of it. It means that Simeon was maybe responding to sort of a real ongoing issue with this teacher. Maybe
Yeah.
this teacher is motivated to not let Simeon learn how to tie his shoes.
Right. And ultimately,
sorry. I'm
can
sorry.
you blame him? I came here to learn.
Yeah.
You know, I came here to learn about life and the world
Yeah.
and, shapes. And
this
this seems to fit into that, right? Tying
Right.
my shoes
Yeah.
Right.
seems to fit into that.
and this teacher is like, we don't care about tying your shoes.
Yeah.
We want you, like, what are these math problems that are so important
Yeah.
for kindergartners
Right.
to get to right now
Right.
Yeah.
that they can't stop down and teach somebody to tie their shoes.
And here's just another idea. Maybe this teacher's, she's a teacher. This is what she does for a living.
Yeah.
She sees Sim going to another kid to be
Yeah.
taught something.
Right.
She's jealous.
Yeah.
Jealousy.
She's jealous of
She's
Sim.
jealous.
She's jealous
No,
of
she
this
wants to be
kid who's
teaching.
teaching.
Oh, right.
This
Yeah.
kid's not the teacher.
Yeah, she goes.
Why didn't Sim come to her?
Yeah, she's like it's like in a rough neighborhood where you've got drug dealers on various corners.
Oh, yeah, I know.
And
the
she's
type.
seeing this
Yeah.
this little kid.
Yeah.
Oh, he's
Selling knowledge on my corner.
Oh, you're the teacher. I mean, I guess, if she had really been that jealous,
Yeah.
she would have been like, oh, you're so good at teaching. Why don't you teach the class?
Yeah.
I'll sit down.
Yeah. Yeah. And Simeon
Yeah.
doesn't say that didn't happen.
And then we
He
wonder.
doesn't say it didn't happen.
And then
he
when-
just talks about his part and that he was sent to quiet
And then we
time.
wonder how these kids end up so vindictive with a teacher like that.
Right.
Yes.
You know, I
Yeah.
mean, I guess we don't have to wonder.
No, that's the
That's the nice thing about this. We were wondering about it, and then
but-
answer,
we got that knowledge in our guts.
and that is true. That is what happened. So we know that's how they became vindictive.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
This is how a child will become
was
vindictive.
modeled for
Although we
them.
did point out at the beginning that Simeon doesn't seem to be characterized by vindictive.
Maybe he
Not-
learned
not in
through
our perceptions
this.
of
Not
him.
in our perception. So that's one thing. Let's put that's
He's been
possible.
secret. He's been kind of secretive about even this. Maybe this teacher doesn't even know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's I would say that's likely that the teacher doesn't know. That it's going to be a surprise to her when you show up
Yeah.
in South America in her
Yeah.
tiny little village. She's
Yeah.
going to be like, "What? Who are you?"
Wait. What?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. As long as we can do it quickly.
That's entirely possible. The other thing is that maybe this isn't all bad. Maybe a situation like this for Simeon was sort of the grit in the oyster
Ah.
that grows a pearl.
Yes.
It gave him something to meditate on.
I
Yeah.
I
Kind
shouldn't
of-
be like this.
Yeah, he could observe his action, and
Yes.
maybe that's formed him in some way.
Mm.
Into the young man he is.
And maybe that teacher was thinking Niccolo Machiavelli style.
Yeah.
80 moves ahead.
You're right. Look, this is wrong for me to put him in quiet time.
Right.
But I know what it will do.
I'm
It will
going to
teach
do
him.
it. Against my better,
Yeah.
extremely farsighted judgment.
He
There's
doesn't
another.
deserve this.
Yeah, I'm going to do that because that's what he needs.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny because I feel like I definitely dealt with the real. Some people care about justice more than others.
Yeah,
Kids really care about it.
yeah,
Often.
You do not have to teach your kids about fairness
no,
at all. They immediately understand it. And you have to teach them about, like, as a parent, you want to try to be fair,
right,
but you can't. And you're not a court of law. You
Yeah.
can't, like, mediate these things like
Right.
that. And so there's just all this times where you're like, I don't know what happened.
I don't know what happened.
So
I don't know what's right. God
this is just what's
knows.
going to
And
happen.
that's-
We're solving
that's
this way.
Yeah.
But I get it because I used to feel like that. I remember there was one time
Yeah,
on a camping trip with some guys. We made a campsite. We were canoeing down a river, and we stopped off to make a campsite. We made a campsite, campfire, all this stuff. I found all these stones and things, and I made myself a little stone chair. It was the best one.
It was the best
No one
stone
else had
chair.
a stone chair like mine.
yeah,
Upperclassmen came, sat in my stone chair, stole it from me.
yeah.
I was mad. I was so mad.
Yeah.
That's infuriating.
And I almost felt like I should have fought him.
yeah,
I didn't, but I was just kind of vindictive to him the
Yeah.
rest of the time.
yeah.
And I still have been to him. Right?
Yeah.
I made posts on Facebook to annoy him, talk about his life and the mistakes he's made.
Just really rub his nose in it.
Yeah.
So sometimes you don't learn this.
Yeah.
Sometimes those situations just make you that way.
Yeah.
You learn a pattern of behavior that you stick with.
Yeah. Right. You just wear a groove,
Yep.
and the needle just slips right back into that groove.
Yeah.
Yep.
Pretty soon.
Hard to get out.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you point out like, oh, you're part of the military. Okay. You were a missionary. Now you're part of the military.
Yeah.
Interesting switch.
Yeah. These
Yeah.
people are beyond saving.
That was part of my post.
Did you decide? Maybe he decided. Yeah. Maybe he.
It was
kinda-
just an interesting phenomenon
Yeah.
I saw in my church
Yeah.
growing up, as I saw all these young men who would be missionaries to third world countries.
Yeah.
And then they would join
Join
the
the
military and like go fight people
Yep.
in third world countries.
Yep.
It's interesting.
That is.
I think it is
Really
a judgment on
interesting.
them and not really a judgment on the
The peop-
military or,
Yeah.
Yeah.
The countries they're going
countries.
Yeah.
Anyway, wow.
That is one way that could have gone, but we can see clearly that didn't happen to Simeon. He's not
to. No.
in the military
Yep.
in any way.
Or, I mean, but this woman,
Yeah.
this teacher woman,
Right.
she didn't join the military.
That's a great question. Who's to say that it wasn't kind of that she didn't it didn't backfire
Right.
on her. She thinks she's shaping this young man into somebody vindictive
Right.
who will take to the military, become a member of the special forces, commit war crimes and other atrocities.
Sort of like the opposite of kindergarten cop.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Uh-huh.
It is very much the opposite of kindergarten cop.
Go from kindergarten to being a cop in the world, or police.
Yeah.
Or
maybe
world police.
Maybe it was exactly kindergarten cop. Maybe she
she was passed.
she was trying to suss out somebody whose father was involved in crimes.
Right.
And she ended up being Simeon's. And she's not necessarily a good teacher initially,
No.
but over time, kind of developed some real skills teaching children how to basically function in a fascist, which is what school is anyway. It's one of the interesting things
right,
about
it's a-
Kindergarten
yeah.
Cop as a movie.
Oh, really?
Is it does really demonstrate how you can be very effective as a teacher of kindergarten age children if you employ the tactics that make cops. Teach them basically in the way that you would teach a cop at a police academy.
Okay.
So it's kind of exposing the inherent fascism in the educational system.
Yeah.
There's so many lessons to learn.
It's
from
just about
kindergarten
controlling people, right?
Exactly.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
Classroom control,
Classroom control.
riot
That's what it becomes,
control,
right?
These
Cops control. Control your cops.
yeah, controlling your
We haven't
cops.
learned how to do that yet, but
Tear gas.
yeah, on the cops.
From the kids.
from the kids,
From the kids.
to the
Yeah.
cops.
To the cops.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, tears and gas for sure.
Right.
From these little
Exactly.
kids.
All these little, yeah. And now, as far as restitution goes,
Right.
what if he just does the same number of math problems
Yeah.
that are 10% harder?
You could. I would say it's a choice. You could do 10% more
More math
or
problems.
10% or increase
Yeah.
the difficulty by 10%.
Yeah.
Simeon is he
One
works,
of those is much easier.
he works in a field that I believe has required him to gain some pretty significant math
Yeah.
Yep.
abilities.
Mhm.
So I think that either of the it's kind of a toss up, which
Right.
is really going to be harder.
Yeah, or maybe just have him formulate a test that is those same questions 10% harder, because that seems like that's a lot. That's very difficult math to figure
He
out.
would
Yes.
but he would be that's hard to do,
Yeah.
but it seems like it's within his realm of
You'd
ability.
probably have to start a whole process of testing
Yes.
children at that age.
Yes.
And being like, this is 10%, to figure out that step
Yeah.
from the original difficulty. And I would say also, when he's doing these math problems, he should have his shoes untied.
Oh yeah.
I mean that
And
you
be quiet.
do want to kind of recreate
Sure.
the
Recreate the whole
situation,
thing.
especially if what you're looking for. And I think everybody's interested in this is some kind of catharsis.
Yes.
from
Yes.
these situations.
Right.
Yeah.
Reenact it.
And
Reenact
you probably
it.
stand a greater
Take
chance of greater catharsis,
Yeah.
of experiencing greater catharsis if you recreate it as close as you can,
Yeah.
as possible. So I don't know, maybe untie your shoes.
Yeah.
Just don't even
dribbling
start,
out of your
don't even start.
nose.
Yeah.
Don't
Whatever.
even start with your shoes tied.
Oh yeah, that would be good too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess actually forget how to tie your shoes.
Yeah.
If
That
you
would be
can
best.
return to that state.
That would
Maybe
be best.
if there's some food substance you can eat that puts you in sort of a fugue state.
Yes.
That your cognitive ability kind of returns to that 4 and 5 year old level.
Right.
Yeah.
If you have stuff
yeah.
on your face and you don't
Right,
know,
exactly.
you don't care
You
about
don't
it.
even care. It's
Yeah.
not that you don't know. If you knew, that
You'd
wouldn't
be like,
change the
that wouldn't
fact that
matter.
you
That's fine.
don't care.
It does seem like, it's like, what is the problem with kids? Do they not care that it's there?
No, they just don't.
They don't feel that it's there. Their face is like, it
Yeah.
would be crazy to me if their faces are less sensitive.
Right.
Yeah.
They've got to be more
Their
sensitive.
more
nerves
sensitive.
deaden over time, you would assume.
Yeah, but I'm very aware of when I have stuff
Yeah.
on my, I try to be.
Yeah.
It just doesn't mean the same thing to you or to them that it does to you or I. To
Yeah.
us, it means social, it's a real problem.
Yes.
It's a
Yeah.
social issue. For them, it is not.
If
It
I
is
met
a badge
man,
of honor.
Yeah.
met a
To have
man,
Cheetos.
Yes.
Sort of.
Yeah.
I met a man, if I met a man,
If I met a man.
if I met a man, and he had Cheetos on his face and his shoes were untied, I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna go easy on this guy.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm gonna have to find out some more things about this guy before I decide.
Yeah.
And hopefully you'd learn, not vindictive, does not hold a grudge at all.
Right.
Yeah.
Probably has never even, that has not even entered his guts.
Is one of the it's
Right.
not even his gun is not even forming that thought.
yeah, yeah, not even a thing.
No.
I think that's a good answer. So Simeon, I mean, kind of rough estimates here. I'd say you're. Thank you.
Round one over.
Yep. I'd say that. I'd say that you're looking at, let's go to 180 school days.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's say 10 problems a day.
Okay.
Yep.
Right. So you're looking at about 2,000 problems.
Kindergarten level.
Kindergarten levels,
Math problems.
10%
Yeah,
increase,
the 10%
10%
increase.
difficulty.
Yep. And you have to do that math to figure out what the 10% is.
That's on you.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's part of the practice. And it's part of the healing too.
Yep.
And I would say, as you offer this to her eventually, after you complete over 2,000 problems, it would be if you opt for increasing the quantity of
Yeah.
the problems by 10%.
Would it be?
I think,
Not quite.
no, you're right. It would be just under, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Gabe?
maybe I should do this. Maybe I should take part in this practice. But when you offer it, you can't have any specific expectations about how she receives it.
Yeah.
You have to it has to be given in a spirit of just humility
Right.
and without expectation.
Yeah.
Mm.
The other possibility, and I think that's great.
Yeah, you can't expect her to be impressed.
No.
Yeah.
No. I mean, she will be. She will have to fit it into her worldview.
Right. Yeah.
This is going to be.
I guess the expectation you should have is to explain a little bit about why you're doing this or what's going on. That would be reasonable, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But as far as what her response should be, I think you just have to let it be
An
as
open
it is.
hand.
Yeah.
Really extend it with an open
Yeah.
hand.
And look, this is all well and good. I'm really glad we've done this, but there is
Oh,
another
man, so am I.
solution. There's another solution, which is just like, just kind of let it go.
Don't worry about
Don't
it,
worry about
or
it.
Yeah.
accept the fact that in the universe that there really is no possibility of restitution.
There's really
Oof.
no. This is something. Move forward. Do better.
Yeah, but the past is the past,
Yeah.
And
there's nothing you can do.
just don't do any of the stuff we talked about.
yeah,
Just don't bother with it.
just don't worry about it. You. One thing that I've learned from my dentist, I've mentioned it before,
Yeah.
is you can forgive yourself.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And you
Yep.
can make your own restitution
Yep.
by not really doing anything.
Pay it forward.
And, yes,
Pay it
exactly.
forward.
And learn from it. That's one of the ways you can restitute is you can learn from it. You can say, I'm not going to be vindictive that way.
Yeah.
I'm not going to, be vindictive that way.
Yeah,
You
right.
can say it twice. You can say it 3 times.
I'll
It
say
doesn't
one
matter.
thing I do is with my guts. That's how I restitute.
Yeah. Right.
Thanks so much for listening. This has been Advanced Answering Techniques. You can send us your questions and we'll answer them. We're looking for a audio file about a minute in length. You can send that to advancedansweringtechniques@gmail.com.
I'm feeling like a butler over here because I kind of want to unpack that, Caleb.
What do you mean?
Or no, I
I'm
mean, I
pretty
guess
sure
we
it's
shouldn't,
right
but we
there.
were on a good outro.
Yeah.
But yeah, we love the question, and we love our listeners, and we love their love.
We love their love. We love Simeon.
Yeah, and send in puny problems.
Puny problems. PKP.
Yeah,
Yeah, we'd love it. We'd love it. And those can be money too.
Those can be money or, yep.
are we gonna tithe 10% of it or?
We should.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We should get around to that.
awesome.
That's one great thing you could think of is if you support us financially, we are going to tithe.
Right.
So some of the money will go back to the church.
yeah.
It's one way you could think of this as a kind of ministry.
That's So, thanks so much, guys,
Yeah,
Thanks, Josh.
for helping out.
Thanks for hosting us.
Thanks for hosting, helping us host. Gabe, thank you for helping me host.
Caleb, thank you for helping me host.
You're welcome.
There's a song. Bye.
Bye.
There's the future. Its eyes on us from across the water. Moving with the malicious intent. Your eyes were bright. The day was sunny. The liquor was clear. My nose was running, but now there's nothing I can do to bring your ring finger back to you. There's nothing I can do to bring your ring finger back to you. No one else to blame. see